The literary element we'll focus on here in this video is the point of view in which stories can be written. This is basically exactly what it sounds like, the point at which the reader interprets the action. There are several options for this literary device and which points of view authors will choose, so we'll go through those now. The first one, appropriately, is first person. This is when the author tells the story from the point of view of a character in the story itself. We see what they see, and we know what they know. The author will use personal pronouns in this case to refer to the fictional narrator, because obviously it's that character speaking or thinking. So it's like, I did this, I was walking down the road, I made the pancakes, etc. A great example of this is the Hunger Games books. They are told to us as if we're reading Katniss's thoughts. They are completely from her perspective, and we only know what she knows. So we don't have any idea where like the other tributes are in the arena because Katniss doesn't know. Our perspective is limited to hers. The next perspective to look at is second person, and honestly we won't spend too much time on this one because frankly it's a little bit boring. This is the perspective that a piece of writing will use when it's like giving instructions. So like manuals for building or operating things will be in the second person. Anything that tells you to like remove this piece or assemble this apparatus or connect piece A into slot B is second person. You know, Lego instructions are in second person. IKEA directions are in second person. So basically anything that gives you instructions, that talks to you, gives you steps on how to accomplish a goal, that's going to be the second person perspective. So we'll move on. The next point of view that we'll talk about is the third person perspective. This is when we have a narrator who is overseeing all the action of the story, and we get like this outside perspective going on with the happenings of the story. The narrator doesn't participate in the story as one of the characters, but the narrator does let us know what's going on. We learn about the characters through the outside voice of this, disembodied narrator. Now, there are two ways that an author can do this with a narrator. One is to make this narrator omniscient, which is maybe a term you've heard before. It means all-knowing. This means that the narrator not only knows what's happening in all parts of the story, but what every character is thinking or feeling. The author can also choose to make the narrator limited in its knowledge. This means that the narrator does not have all the info and could react to events alongside the reader. So both can be used in different ways to elicit different emotions from the readers. So the way to tell the difference between the two is the omniscient narrator will go into characters' thoughts and feelings. You'll kind of start to see perspectives from like all sides. You'll get a little bit of a glimpse into what the antagonist might be thinking or feeling. So that'd be a good kind of clue as to whether you're working with like an omniscient or a limited narrator. If you are getting perspectives from like all sides and all characters of a story. If you're not, then you're most likely working with the limited narrator. You'll want to consider all these options for utilizing point of view when you write your own stories, which would be the most effective for what you want to accomplish with your story, and what questions are raised when an author chooses a specific point of view. It's a really fascinating thing to look into when you're analyzing other people's works.